Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another video that is mainly filled with collage because I'm making some journal cards and I start with a collage background. In my last video I asked you which videos you prefer and what you want to see, and collaging was one of the requested videos. And I will do some more with the ideas that you had and what you told me you like the most. And I will bring them all over the summer. I'm starting my cards with my little boxes where I have the smaller collage pieces in, because I always try to get rid of them, use them up before I start a new bigger piece, because I don't want to have everything laying around and I don't want to have tons of tiny scraps laying around. The base for the journal cards is some mixed media paper. It's the Canson XL paper, not XL, Canson mixed media paper. I really love this one. It's super smooth. It's perfect if you do some stamping, and it's also nice as a card base. Of course, you can do a similar technique for artist trading cards. The only difference is that artist trading cards are a little bit smaller than journal cards. These journal cards are 3 by 4 inches and artist trading cards are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So it's not much of a difference. What I'm having here is an old tea bag. I really love to use this as collage because it's transparent and that gives an interesting texture. And it's also kind of a bit something special on the collage work. I'm adhering everything with my glue stick, also the tea bag paper, but it seems I didn't use it here. Maybe I will use it later in the process. I'm always working intuitively. I lay the papers down and see what fits and what doesn't, and then I adhere them. The papers I am using are a lot of jelly prints, but also some of my different made collage papers. I have 2 books. One is a math book and one is an old map book. And I used those to just stamp in patterns with acrylic paint. And then just use these books as a collection for collage papers and also to just tear out the pages when I need them. And here you can see I'm gluing down the old tea bag paper. The other paper I have adhered here is one from a design paper pad. I do not often use design papers. If I do, they are usually some kind of vintagey neutral papers. If you want to have some jelly print inspiration, you will find a lot of videos about this on my channel, and I plan to do a jelly printing video in the future, but I can't promise that I can manage this before our holidays. So maybe this will come in autumn and not over the summer. We will be on holidays by the end of August. The shop will have no shipping between the mid of August and mid of September, around 3 weeks, I would say. We do not ship any orders. If you order in this time, you have to wait until we are back, but there is a message in the shop, and I will also send out a newsletter to notify you when we stop working. I also adhered some papers to the other card and also a piece of that old tea bag. I like to be them a bit cohesive because I like to do sets of cards also when I'm working with artist for artist trading cards, I like to have some that are cohesive. So, but especially for the journal cards, it might be kind of important. You might use them in a scrapbook album or maybe in your art journal, and then it's always good to have something that matches together. I now cut off the overlapping papers, and then I will add a layer of clear gesso over the cards. I really love using that clear gesso. I recently discovered that it's quite nice to have the texture to work on top. It primes the paper, but that clear gesso is not as smooth as the white gesso. It's more gritty and it takes all kinds of mediums. Whilst with some of the white gessos you will get problems with inks, with distress inks or kind of these sort of supplies, but with that clear gesso you won't have that problem. The clear gesso I am using is from PBO. I haven't used any others, so I just know about this one, and this is the one I really like. I'm applying it with a dough scraper that I bought on Amazon, and they are usually meant to be used in the kitchen, but they are amazing to prime papers with gesso or also to make collages with gel medium. They are easy to clean and they don't leave any brush strokes on your surface. I will let this gesso dry. It does not take a lot of time because it dries quite quickly, and then I will come back and add more color. And you can see the gesso dried really transparent. You can't see that there is something on top. I wanted to use some of these border stamps. It's our mixed media borders stamp set, and it contains almost all the stamps from the doodle border sets and from the grungy borders. There is one stamp missing from one of the doodle borders, and this one will be on one of our next Mix It Up stamp sets that will come out in autumn. I'm using black ink to stamp that border. I think I'm using Stays On, yes. I'm cleaning the stamps just with a baby wipe. Someone mentioned in the comments that she likes shorter videos better than longer videos. It's quite impossible sometimes to make shorter videos because I don't want to speed them up. If I personally watch videos, I don't like if they are sped up. I don't like if they have music in the background. And I prefer the people talking. I think it's okay if it is quiet because sometimes I just don't know what to say. But if the videos are too long, there is a little setting in the video and you can speed it up to twice of the time. So not twice of the time, twice of the speed, half of the time. And you can also make it slower, of course, if you want to. Yeah, and that's a nice setting. I think if the videos are a bit too long, you can just speed them up. I might sound a bit funny then, but that also might be interesting. I'm really loving the turquoise on these cards. I really like the whole color combo I have here. And I want to add some splatters, and I decided to pick that turquoisey ink I have from Amsterdam. And I will just make some splatters onto the cards. While these cards are drying, I am going to prepare my main images. I have already stamped our sketchy birds to watercolor paper. I'm using the Canson XL watercolor paper because it's quite nice for coloring in with any kind of water-soluble markers. And it's also quite smooth for stamping. It has not too much texture, so you get usually a good stamp impression. Of course, you have to ink up your stamp pad always very well, don't forget that. And I use the Rubberstamp clear ink to stamp it. I'm using the Ohuhu markers. I got them quite some time ago, and I use them really often in my sketchbook. They are similar to the Tombow markers. There is not much of a difference. But I can talk about hand lettering. So I do not hand letter with them. So I don't know if the nib is good enough compared to the Tombow markers. But for coloring in stamped images, they are just fine. I will now speed up the coloring process a little bit because that can get quite boring, I think. And I just speed it up to half of the time. I am not very good in coloring stamped images. I always do it quite loosely and not very precise, and also my color combos don't have anything to do with the real life. I always try to use colors that are matching my background, so I've decided to pick colors here that are already on my collage papers. My birds are colored in and I've cut them out. Now I will just finish up the cards by adhering the birds. And I have also prepared a sentiment for each card. I'm not sure which stamps I've used for the sentiments, but I will put every stamp set from today in the video description. Yes, and these are my finished journal cards. I hope you like them and you are inspired to create your own or to make something different. Yeah, I hope we will see us next time. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.